Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, May 17th. Today we will have some showers and thunderstorms popping up over parts of eastern Nevada into central and northern Utah. They will be fairly isolated and not likely dropping large amounts of precipitation. We still have our critically dry fuels over just the southern areas of the Great Basin. Could see a few showers on Wednesday and Thursday in the north. However, winds will be somewhat breezy today over southern Utah, but most gusts below 30 miles per hour, so just a general breezy day. But winds will pick up certainly more on Thursday, where we will see gusts to 30 or 40 miles per hour or higher, with low relative humidity in areas where we have critically dry fuels, especially over southern areas of the Great Basin. So expect a more significant increase in winds on Thursday. Over the last 24 hours, we saw some showers and thunderstorms over northern areas with an area of low pressure, bringing some light amounts of precipitation to Idaho, Wyoming, and to far northern Utah. Great Basin fire activity has been light. We have been picking up some smaller fires around the Great Basin, anywhere from Idaho to western Nevada down into Utah and the Arizona Strip, but these fires have remained small. Over the last 7 to 14 days, any precipitation has been focused over the northern half of the Great Basin with still very dry conditions over southern areas. Any precipitation has been generally below normal, but there are pockets of above normal precipitation, especially in Idaho and parts of northeast Utah or northeast Nevada into Utah. Here's some of our more significant ERC charts where fuels are most critical in parts of southern Utah. Our ERCs are now inching up to near or just above the 90th percentile and certainly well above normal and above historical maximums for the time of year. Similar conditions over parts of southern Nevada into the southern part of the Ely district. ERCs are right along that maximum value, so setting new records for the time of year and approaching or just exceeding the 90th percentile. Our satellite loop from this morning shows a weaker trough of low pressure moving into northern California, so ahead of this trough is where we'll see some breezy winds today over southern areas and still some clouds and light shower activity in the far north. And near the southern edge of that cloud boundary in eastern Nevada and Utah is where we'll start to see some of those showers and thunderstorms popping up this afternoon. Looking at our weather pattern for later today, again, that trough moves into the western side of the basin. You can see those showers and thunderstorms in mainly Utah, far eastern Nevada, and drier conditions along the periphery of the Great Basin. We have no high risk for today, although we will see some breezy winds in southern Utah, but fuels are bordering critical in some areas, and winds are also just bordering critical as well. Looking at the relative humidity and the wind gusts, relative humidities will be in the single digits to low teens in southern and western areas. And you can see those breezy winds on the right, generally showing wind gusts in the 20s to right around 30 miles per hour in some spots. As we move into Wednesday, we will have another trough of low pressure dropping down from the north. This will bring showers and possible thunderstorms to northern areas and still drier conditions down south, although winds will weaken somewhat as this first area of low pressure moves off to the east, and it's still well away from the area of low pressure dropping down from the north, so no high risk on Wednesday. Relative humidity will still remain in the single digits to teens in southern and western areas, but again, you can see how those winds really decrease on Wednesday in the south, but they will start picking up over northern areas ahead of that trough of low pressure. But again, we will see some higher humidity, some showers, some thunderstorms, and also these are areas where fuels have certainly not been cured yet. As we move into Thursday, that trough drops further south into the Great Basin, so we will see more of a significant increase in winds in southern areas. So we did add some high risk for parts of southern Utah into the Arizona Strip, where winds will be strongest and fuels are most critical. We will see those breezy winds back into southern areas of Nevada, but they'll likely be bordering 30 miles per hour, and we don't have certainly a lot of low elevation grasses in some of these areas, so the fire risk is not quite as significant. However, it will be breezy back further west. Relative humidity is still in the single digits to low teens in the south, and you can see how those winds really strengthen on Thursday in all areas. The strongest winds will actually be in the higher terrain of parts of central and northern Utah, up into Wyoming and eastern Idaho, but also further south, again, where we have those critical fuels, we will see gusts in the 40s, could see certainly some gusts above 50 miles per hour in parts of Utah. Back into Nevada, gusts mainly in the 30s to low 40s, but again, really breezy to strong winds across all of the Great Basin on Thursday. Maximum temperatures today and tomorrow will be quite warm. We will be seeing temperatures in the upper 90s to near 100 in parts of southern Nevada, in the 80s across much of Utah and Nevada, and then into the 70s further north. But we will see that cool down on Thursday as that trough of low pressure drops in from the north. Our 3-day forecast amount of precipitation is shown here. We will see generally light amounts of precipitation across parts of Utah into eastern Nevada, where we will see some of those thunderstorms, and also over parts of central Idaho into western Wyoming. As we move into Friday, that trough of low pressure swings through the Great Basin, so still some showers and cooler temperatures in northern and eastern areas, and still some breezy winds down south, although not quite as strong as what we saw on Thursday, but we will still see those dry conditions. So we do not have any high risk for Friday, but expect winds to still be somewhat breezy. As we move into the weekend, we will see that trough move off to the east and some ridging start to build off the west coast. So generally lighter winds and warming temperatures through the weekend expected for the Great Basin. Could see some showers with a weak trough dropping into the northern Rockies over far eastern sides of the basin later in the weekend, but no high risk going into the early part of next week with generally warmer and drier conditions. Forecast amount of precipitation over the next 7 days, not much different than the 3-day, considering most of that precipitation will either fall today in the form of thunderstorms into parts of Utah or over the next couple days in the far north with that system dropping down. The 8 to 14-day outlook, taking us from May 24th through the 30th, shows still warm, dry conditions over western and southern areas of the Great Basin, and still those cooler temperatures in the north with systems dropping down into northern sides of the basin, with some above normal precip for parts of the eastern side of the Great Basin, again ahead of those troughs of low pressure. But still very little precipitation expected where it's desperately needed in parts of southern and western areas. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.